I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 6 Zombies lately, so seeing the number 115 in the video thumbnails got me feeling a little on edge, you know, just general sense of unease. If you know, you know. You know, element 115 is not to be trifled with, but yeah, it's got this prevailing feeling that something terrible might happen in this week's story. Something terrible like the Doctor dying. Nah, I'm sure we got nothing to worry about. After all, Tom Baker's been the Doctor for 7 years. I'm sure he's got another 7 years left in him. Right?
We're
in the 80s.
Hello and welcome to my review of the 115th classic Doctor Who story, 1981's four-parter, Logopolis. We are halfway through the New Beginnings box set, but this is, in fact, the final serial of Season 18 and the final serial of Tom Baker's historic 7-year run playing the Fourth Doctor. The plot starts off as more of a follow-up to the E-Space trilogy than Keeper of Traken, with the Doctor and Adric only now discussing their feelings on the loss of K9 and Romana. But things are soon back on track with the Doctor finally getting around to returning to Gallifrey. You know, the thing that was set up way back at the start of the season? No? Oh, come on, Doc, really?
So we don't get to go to Gallifrey?
Yes.
Ah, whatever. I'm sure he'll get there eventually. In the meantime, however, we have a lot of firsts for the series. The first time ever hearing that iconic cloister bell, the first instance of the TARDIS materializing around another object, at least what I can remember, something that they love doing in the modern series. The first time we get to meet that rare, obscure, grotesque alien race known as Australians, and the first... Oh. It's Ian Porter. More on that thing later. The mummy, not the Australian. No, that's just Tegan, our newest TARDIS companion. Eesh, I hope nobody remembers what I said about Australians last week. Anyway, I've heard a lot of great things about this set of episodes. And I gotta say, the stakes and tone of this serial are incredible. Everything just has this sense of gravitas, with so much dramatic monologuing into the middle distance, with ambient lighting and impactful music. And it's cool getting to see a working TARDIS with a fully functional chameleon circuit because, oh yes, the Master is properly back this time, and he's surprisingly reserved. I've already seen Anthony Ainley play the Master a couple of times before, and I've always enjoyed his sinister yet energetic performance. But here, he's... I don't want to be mean, so I'll put it like... It's clear he's still warming up to the role, you know? Like, he hasn't fully developed the character yet. Understandable, too, because, you know, you've got to follow up after Roger Delgado. You know, not discounting the Geoffrey Beevers, because that was an awesome incarnation. But I can imagine that must have been weighing heavily on him. I was like, yeah, we've had, you know, 4 Doctors now, but this is the first time we're having, like, a full, proper, mustache-twirling Master, so... Yeah, but I do know he goes on to become iconic, unforgettable. But here he's more skulking in the shadows like... Tom Baker is on top form, however. He's at his absolute best when he's rambling off complicated sci-fi jargon at a mile a minute while everyone around him just nods in agreement or confusion. Although this time, he has Adric with him, who can actually keep up with the Doctor's level of intelligence, for the most part. I mean, sure, Romana could as well, but she was more, you know, book smarts rather than real-world experience. So I guess that's one thing Adric's got going for him, I guess, you know. I still don't get why people hate Adric so much, but... Anyways, that is something I gave credit to the Keeper of Traken for, is that I really liked the dynamic when it's just the Doctor and Adric, even if it was only for that one story, because, you know, now we got Tegan. And, yeah, the Doctor does revert a little more back to his mean streak a couple of times. Though, to be fair, for good reason this go around. I mean, you'd be in a bit of a mood, too, if you had this thing following you around everywhere. Go away. I know I already mentioned the cloister bell, that iconic sound effect that permeates through every Whovian's mind like a dagger. It can only mean one thing: danger. But what's the danger? Who's this creepy bugger following them? What do the Time Lords want with the Doctor? Will he ever get to Gallifrey? What's the Master up to? Will Tegan ever get to the airport on time? Never mind all that, the Doctor's got to go visit a planet of nerds to get his police box dimensions measured. Seriously? Logopolis, the namesake of the story, actually serves a fascinating purpose. It's an entire planet of retired geniuses who exist solely to solve complex equations manually without the aid of technology. It also just so happens to be the very nexus point of the entire universe, keeping all of reality in check. If anything were to happen to this place or its people, the whole of existence would crumble. And they've got no security. Nothing. It's never explained if they have any means to defend themselves. No planetary defense systems, no weapons. Are they hidden? I feel like a place of this significance should be sacred and protected at all costs. But nah, they're just out there, chilling, keeping the universe running while playing with abacuses. It's kinda like the Great Clock from the Ratchet & Clank Future Saga, another all-important facility in charge of keeping all of time and space running, and is located in the exact centre of the universe, give or take 50 feet. Although in that case, at least it's secret and hidden and protected, and has defence mechanisms, lousy as they may be. But oh well, at least the Doctor can get help getting his TARDIS measured. Tegan inadvertently stows away in the TARDIS in a fairly lazily written scene. Like, no one's in there, but sure, I guess you can just open the door to the TARDIS without a key now. Why not? And yeah, you do get the usual, wow, it's bigger on the inside reaction. But then she proceeds to wander deeper and deeper into the bowels of the TARDIS, through the endless repeating corridors. Like it's a completely normal thing to do. So she's technically stowed away on board when the Doctor and Adric take off and land on Logopolis, when suddenly Nyssa!
I'm coming.
Yeah, she kind of just shows up out of nowhere again. I half expected them to return to Draken to pick her up, but no. As to how she got there, it was all thanks to, not you again. Can't you go be creepy somewhere else? As to actually how it got her there, I don't even want to think about it. Is he a TARDIS? Does he just unzip? It's like, get inside, I will teleport you. That thing isn't the only malevolent force that's followed them to Logopolis. For the Master is also there, sneaking around, turning people into little dolls, just like the old days. And he seeks to gain control of the Nexus mainframe. Whatever, I got a bit lost as to his whole motivation and goal. A bad guy, do bad thing. The Logopolins have the means to gain power and control, and he obviously wants it. Unfortunately, as usual, in his ultimate quest for power, he fails to think things through, screws everything up, destroys the entire planet and its people, leading to the collapse of the entire universe. Exactly like the Flux. Bravo, Master. With all of creation at stake, and entire galaxies fading into dust. Like, seriously, they are gone. The Doctor and the Master must combine efforts in an attempt to stop the destruction of literally everything. See, I told you the stakes were pretty high. High. Get it? Because yeah. Real quick before I move on, Nyssa's reaction to seeing her father's body being assumed by the Master and having to watch as her homeworld of Draken is destroyed. It's heartbreaking. It provides an excellent reason for her to join the TARDIS team, and is a great way to display Sarah Sutton's acting abilities. As for Jeanette Fielding as Tegan, her acting is a bit stage playish, like with overly exaggerated facial features, and to the point where I even thought she was putting on a phony Aussie accent.
crazy idiot of a pilot. Wait till I'm a word with him.
But it turns out that's just a slightly exaggerated version of her natural accent. Can't say the same about Auntie Vanessa though, may she rest in peace. And that's not a dig at her acting ability. This is coming from, I don't know if I'm still an actor, but I used to act a lot on stage and on camera, and the differences are very noticeable. On camera, it's all like subtle mannerisms and stuff, whereas on stage you have to be over-exaggerated with the facial expressions and the voice and projecting to yourself. But I find that a lot with New Zealand and Australian actors. Like, some of our acting schools are pretty terrible at teaching people to act, where you gotta be super dramatic. Like, you walk into a room and you gotta look at us like, that doesn't work on screen. On stage, it's fine. So maybe that's her background, is stage play. This little ramble has been brought to you by me being tired. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes! The episode 3 cliffhanger. Amazing. Legit epic. Everything about this story is so earnest and taken seriously. While the plot itself is on the more meh side, everything around it more than makes up for it. I have to wonder, if this wasn't a regeneration story, would it be as fondly remembered? Guess we'll never know. So, yeah, I guess we better talk about that. Despite working together, you just know the Master's gonna try and pull some crap at some point. And while the two Time Lords race against time to upload some Logopolian code virus into a giant satellite dish on Earth to, I don't know, beam into outer space and save the universe, he does, in fact, double-cross the Doctor. It's admittedly pretty weak and last minute, but hey, gotta kill Tom off somehow, right? In an iconic moment I'm sure you've all seen before, the Doctor goes out onto the gantry, clinging to the ledge for dear life. He unplugs the big bad buttons cable, then dangles precariously over the edge before securing himself safely on a nearby railing. Huh. That was a close one. Oh, no, wait, he suddenly falls from his arguably more secure position and dies. I see. Oh, and the creepy toilet paper mummy that's been following them around the whole story, called the Watcher, is actually the future Doctor all along. What a load of bollocks. I won't dwell on it, but I find the whole Watcher being the Doctor all along thing to be just stupid. Much like the Master just merging with the old guy from last week's episode. And just like that, Tom's gone. Quite unceremoniously, might I add.
I hate farewells.
Ain't that the truth? Bro couldn't wait to gap it the exact nanosecond the director said cut. Look, it's impossibly difficult to sum up a 7-year run and my thoughts on it. But I'll just say that Tom Baker is a legend. He was also a massive egotistical nightmare to work with a lot of the time. He is open about it these days, and I don't think regrets is the right word, but he does acknowledge he was in the wrong and recognises how those around him had to deal with him back in the day. Nevertheless, the show would not be the same without him. And although he was a grumpy bugger a lot of the time, the Fourth Doctor's alright in my books. So long, Doc. See you in 2013.
You know, I really think you might.
As for Logopolis, yeah, it's great. My only two major negatives with this serial are that one terrible still image PNG in the background of some otherwise really suspenseful shots, and two, I wish that they would stop playing the exact same soundbite of the Master quietly chuckling over and over again. It sounds super off, like Anthony Ainley was, I don't know, recording in the middle of the night and trying not to wake up his roommate. And they kept using it over and over again. Like, when you think the Master, whether it's Delgado or Ainley, you know, you think like, ha ha ha, or maybe not that much. But this, it's just like, so imagine hearing that over and over again. Just stop. Very distracting. But aside from that, it's really enjoyable. Just don't think about it too hard. I doubt the logic will hold up if you start, you know, going into the minutiae of the details, and for what it's worth, I still don't hate Adric. The way the Doctor goes out is also incredibly memorable. It's not a noble sacrifice, or a blast from a Dalek, or a unseen vibe check. No, it's just an accident. Doubtful the Master even intended for that to happen. I reckon as soon as he went back into his TARDIS, he was like, wait, he died? He fell? Really? All the times I've tried to sick the Daleks on him and use mind control and everything, and he just falls and dies? I need to rethink all my strategies. Yes, Master, you do. You're an iconic villain, but you're stupid sometimes. Man, all that time spent in your fourth incarnation, only to die by falling a couple 100 feet. Imagine surviving, falling all the way to Earth from space! But that would just be ridiculous. I'm kidding, alright? We all know that the Doctor is practically invulnerable when he or she is still buzzing with regeneration energy. Oh, well, shut up, don't question it. So long, ugly red licorice outfit, you won't be missed. I was actually going to do a little gag where I wore this red scarf that I found just hanging up out back of my workplace. Doesn't seem to belong to anyone, it's just kind of always been there. Because it practically looks identical to the one used in season 18. But then I thought, ooh, no. Who knows where it's been? Like I said, it's been hanging up longer than I've been there. So that's, what, 3 or 4 years? Oof. And now, for a moment I've been waiting over a year for. Seven years. Excuse me. Next week, we are in for the biggest shake-up yet. A brand new entry into the ever-expanding universe. A bold leap forward into territories unknown. That's right. Tom may be gone, but that doesn't mean the good times have got to stop rolling. We've got a new protagonist, returning companions. Oh, it's all very exciting. After all, we got a box set to finish. So, tune in next week when I review K9 and Company. Wait, what? Wait a second, this is the wrong box set. Whatever. Thank goodness I can finally take this thing off. I swear if I ever develop a receding hairline, it'll be because of this freaking hat. See you next week for another unexpected spin-off review.